Alrighty, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the Racers Elite Network Xfinity Series tonight here at the Nashville Superspeedway. We're excited to bring you guys the action here. I apologize, a little personal matter I had to take care of. Lebanon, Tennessee is the location of the track. We're on piles here. Dakota LaRue also in the booth, 73 degrees, ambient air temperature, 34% humidity, partly cloudy, 6-mile-an-hour wind gust here. Should be some fun racing here as we kick things over to qualifying action, and drivers out there are already getting some lap times down. And should be quite an interesting session here. You got about 7 minutes left. Dakota, how you doing this evening?
Could be better, could be worse. Looking forward to some racing action here at Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville's a interesting location here. It's getting here to this track here, and this is. Oh, it'll sort itself out. I always flip this timing tower. It always seems confuzzled when it comes down to it. But Dennis Kane looking to post the fastest time so far with a 30.859 second lap. And drivers out here putting lap times in. Quite interesting here at Bill Hagan's 48 machine. He's currently 5th on the board with a 31.037 second lap time. Maybe do some finagling with the board here and see if it'll sort itself out. Brendan Sanfilippo, quick time with a 30.713. It just happened. Brendan Sanfilippo, quick time in that number 12. Sponsored, let's see, was it the Sanfilippo, trying to see what this is the Sanfilippo sponsored ride. I don't think there's anything under it. It's saying it's part of the logo.
Sanfilippo's about a 10th.5 faster than the entire field. So, if no one else is able to beat that time, I'd be looking for him to lead a few laps here.
We do. I'm going to go live in the Discord if you want me to.
No, you're good, man.
Okay. It's interesting here, starting the new season, so fresh card for everybody. I'll be interested to see how they play out with this. Still messed up. I get it for playing with it, I guess. Okay, so about 4 minutes left here of qualifying action. A couple other drivers hitting the racetrack. We got the number 60 Lee Campbell out there. He's going to put some lap times down to 12. Sanfilippo still enjoying some laps. So we got the 0-1 of Kirby Wainscott. Or no, 0-1. It should be. What is that now? He's still out there? I know the 0-1 usually is.
Sorry
Sean Dunaway. You're good.
Sorry if I'm not talking a lot here, bud. I got a cat meowing behind me and some other things, so I'm just trying to be muted so they ain't picked up on the stream.
No, you're good. Yeah, I got Sean here. I was like 0-1. I was like, that's not who I thought it was, but I finally found his name and double checked to make sure nobody's changed numbers over the course of that season jump.
And you know, good point in the chat there. Might be a good idea to bring your sunglasses out for this one, as the track surface, the sunlight just absolutely reflects off of it like crazy, with this being pretty much concrete.
Oh yeah, it's pretty white and pretty bright here tonight. Brendan Sanfilippo still on top of the leaderboard with 3 minutes left in qualifying. Multiple drivers on the racetrack trying to take that away from the 22 of Brandon Biddy's also currently out there on the surface. And Lee Campbell second, quick 30.805. 30.805. Andrew Teft goes third, quick. Now you got to watch for Andrew Teft here. He's one of those drivers who likes to get out there and put lap times down and top the board in practice, so to speak, and then come out and play trump the chump there in qualifying. But Andrew looks like he's gonna have that number 98 Racers Elite set in for position 4. Currently is Sean Dunaway. Hello Kitty, hello second, 0-1. Second quick on the leaderboard, 30.781 second lap. Brandon Sanfilippo's last lap was 30.713, and I'll lock him into the pole for the time being. Andrew Tuff's second lap quicker. I think you're about to highlight on that. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Andrew Taft's getting the closest Sanfilippo out of anyone here, but Sanfilippo is still 600ths faster than the entire field. That's quite a bit here. But you know, this little track combo here, being the first race of the season, is a very interesting track to start at. But it being kind of a super speedway-esque, but you actually kind of have to slow down for the corners here. It's going to make for some really good racing, I think.
Yeah, it should bring some really great racing. Multiple lanes, of course. Maybe super speedway style racing, of course, being Nashville Superspeedway, as they call it. So that could definitely play a role in it for sure. We can hear a couple of drivers not opting for qualification. It appears they got a minute left, and those drivers are going to be Kirby Wainscott, Russ Martin Jr., Christopher Pendle, James Foster Sr., and Stephen Luttrell.
And man, speaking of Luttrell, that's one of the guys I've been waiting to interview for a win up here. I've not been able to do so. I don't think he's been close a couple times, just not quite been able to get it done.
Yeah, I think I've had a couple interviews with him over the course of the time here, but hadn't really been too crazy. We got 20 drivers going to bring you guys action here tonight. And it was qualifying, rounding about 30 seconds to close before we get ready for our starting lineup for today's race here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Let's see if we have any fuel numbers for tonight. I could just pop down there. Let me go ask Andrew what he thinks fuel number was. He's the man with the plan.
If you want me to, so that way you can stay up here and keep doing the bad.
Yeah, sure. We'll send the commentator down out of the booth for a moment to go retrieve some information for us. And we'll go ahead with our starting lineup here momentarily.
All right, fuel window is looking about 45 laps, so we will probably have to stop about 2 times in this race, pending any cautions.
Okay, thank you very much for that generous and useful information. Alrighty, so we'll take a look at our starting lineup here as we roll into today's event. And we're going to have Brandon Sanfilippo on the inside. The 98 of Andrew Tept will start outside. Starting row number 2 is the 01 of Sean Dunaway, and is outside. The number 60 of Lee Campbell will start 4th. Inside of row number 3 will be Dennis Kane in the 4, and is outside. Brandon Biddy in the 22 will start P6. Rolling off inside of row number 4 in the 7th starting spot is Truth Hoke in the 55, and is outside. It'll be Troy Thomas, the Nitrous Cowboy, will start P8. Starting inside of row number 5, Hendricks Bromberg, the 17th, first time I've seen him, as well as the P10 starter, the 48 of Bill Hagan. Inside of row number 6 in the 11th spot is Jonathan Stidham, and his outside will be the number 50 of Terry Fennell, will start in P12. Rolling back now inside of row number 7 is Kyle Hess, and the 86 to his outside. Barry Nelson in the 28 will start P14. Inside of row number 8, 15th is Dana Ryan, and to his outside, the 36 of Stephen Luttrell will start 16th. Inside of number 9, the number 10, the race's elite number 10 of Kirby Wainscott will start 17th, and Christopher Pendle in the 94 will start P18. Inside of number 10 is Russ Martin Jr. starting P19 and 91. To his outside, P20, James Foster Sr. in the 9 will start 20th. That is your starting lineup here as the drivers getting ready to come off of pit road. 105 laps here at the Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, and with this being a new season, I got a feeling Sean Dunaway, your defending champ, is going to be wanting to come out hot and heavy. So be keeping an eye on that 3rd place spot here. And I know on Hello Kitty, what is Chevrolet, I believe?
It looks like a Chevrolet out there tonight. One of these days he will surprise us and confuse us here. Never know what to expect.
I guess it's really going to depend on if his cat's wanting to win or not, as he typically says during the interviews.
Well, hopefully he's given some catnip early, and they bedded down for the night, and they won't interfere with his event here tonight.
Alrighty, bud. About time to go green flag racing here. Yeah.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Brandon Sanfilippo going to bring us down to the green with Andrew Tept alongside. Green flag is out. Away we go here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Green flag's underway. 105 laps is the distance as we rocket down into turn number 1. And it's going to be Brandon Sanfilippo with the lead. Andrew Tept in second. Watching Andrew Tept here trying to hold that line on the outside. He's got John Dunaway on the inside of him there. Looks like Dunaway's going to be able to drive away in the Hello Kitty sponsored ride and take over the second spot. So Dunaway not wasting any time. He's trying to prove his potential for the new season after coming away with the last championship.
Yeah, and they're getting busy really early in this race. I've already seen a little bit of 3-wide action towards the back of the field here. And these guys are already giving everything they can to gain some spots.
Okay, a lot of drivers. Ooh, is that the 28 of Barry Nelson I saw down the apron, kind of looked that way. That's going to be the 96 this season, maybe. It's a new one on me. Yep, the 96. It's 96 this season for Barry Nelson. So I stand corrected.
That is a new one.
Sure is.
Typically in the 28 machine, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. So my apologies. Number correction on my end here tonight already. So you have to pardon us here. The first couple races, we figure out who's driving what numbers, and we got Brandon Sanfilippo in the 12. That's normal. Sean Dunaway the 01. That's normal. Andrew Tept in the 98. This is pretty normal. I think he's the only one that really looks like they took a number change here. So
yeah, everyone for the most part, except for the 2 new guys that are in here today, representing the numbers they normally run. We do got Frostline in the chat saying, "Go Brandon, you can do it." And right now he is trying to do his best at it as he's out to a pretty decent lead, but Sean Dunaway trying to reel him in here.
There's a lot of great battles going on the racetrack right now. Lee Campbell just got around Truth Oak for P4, so battles going around through the field right now. Looks like everybody's kind of settled in up in the middle of the field, middle back, but the guys up front still trying to get that position figured out and kind of get their own lane to run in here until that pit stop lap 45. And we're not seeing a lot of drafting action going on as much as we're seeing people follow the single line freight train style, except for a few passes here and there around the course of the races.
Yeah, just in the time you were talking there, we had about 4 different passes for 9th place between Jonathan Stidham and Hendricks there. The 2 battling it out pretty hard back there. We've got a couple passes for P16 between Terry Finn and Kyle Hess, so we got more passes for P6 and another pass for P9. I mean, they're having a wild old time back here.
Yeah, it's interesting how things play out through the course of the race and just how many positions can be jostled in a matter of moments with 20 drivers on the racetrack.
Yeah, and another key factor of this race is taking care of your tires, especially this being a concrete track and all. It could potentially get slick or even start to build tight as, the right front could get overheated and start to wear a little more.
Yeah, one of the things here, getting around the Nashville Superspeedway, I haven't really turned many laps here, but it seems to be that most of the drivers really like an apex kind of line here. We got a few drivers trying the middle, making some passes happen to the middle of the racetrack. A couple of drivers I haven't really seen anybody really stick to the high side, but the apex seems to be the way around here.
Well, my experience in the Cup car, you typically try to start out on the bottom, but as the run goes on, you kind of start using that middle lane a little more to kind of keep your speed up. But we'll have to see with the Xfinity cars. I haven't really ran it much here.
Yeah, I don't know much, momentum-wise, tire was going to play a big role in it, obviously. Keeping things rolling forward here, and I'm not quite sure damage, depending on how badly damaged the car is. I don't know, a little bit of aero would hurt here. But 105, well, right now we got 97 more laps to figure that out. So hopefully we don't have to venture down that path. But we all know that over time, you carry so much momentum through the corner, somebody's going to find that outside retaining wall. As you see, oh, we almost had it happen. I know you saw that.
That was a pretty close call there. As I'm kind of looking throughout the field here, and everybody's pretty much single filed out at this point. No, not really any more side by side battling going on. It does look like we're having someone with a little bit of connectivity issues causing a little bit of issue, but otherwise, I mean, that was a pretty close call there.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure who it was.
I'm not 100% certain who it was off the top of my head here, reading through everything, but yeah, it was definitely a close call, and I did see the driver having some connectivity issues. I was not actually. I can tell you who it's. Hendricks Bromberg is having some serious connection trouble, so some hardware or technical difficulties for the number 7. I think it's number 17. Or no, Hendricks Bromberg. Yeah, he's 17. He may or may not be with us in the course of this event, so we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye out, see if he's able to hang with us. It's unfortunate to have those kinds of problems, but I don't believe. I think he might be from across the pond, so that might be part of the problem. Don't know for sure. Meanwhile,
but he is rocking AmericaTees.com, you know, one of the sponsors for some of our races here, as well as I believe Jonathan Stidham rocking a AmericaTees.com sponsored vehicle today. So
yeah, it's a big thing there. America Tees. I know they were talking some prizes for some stuff, so that's kind of cool for them to step up and do that. And I don't remember exactly what series, or I think it was just like a special race that was going on that they were doing that for, but definitely want to thank them for stepping up and doing that here for Racers Elite.
So I've been keeping an eye on this battle for the lead here, and it looks like Sean Dunaway is starting to reel in Sanfilippo here, just ever so slightly. Maybe Sanfilippo got out and jumped the gun a little too soon and possibly burn his tires up here, or he could be trying to cruise control and just maintain the gap at the moment.
Yeah, he's seems to be maintaining his. He's right there with Sanfilippo the lap time wise. Sanfilippo time a little bit quicker than Dunaway, but still able to keep him right. Oh man, look at the run he got going into 1.
Yeah, that last time out of 3 and 4, he did lose a little bit of time there, but I mean, like I said before, he was gaining. So maybe Sanfilippo maybe a little better in 3 and 4, and Dunaway a little better in 1 and 2 here. We're gonna watch this time. Let's see, it looks like Sanfilippo was just able to get out 3 and 4 so much better than Dunaway, but Dunaway's able to get through 1 and 2 a little better. So gonna be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, we got a little push-pull action going on there, where a little chain reaction, go to the corner, he pulls a little bit, and then coming out, you get pulled. So it's just going back and forth there on how that goes. But great race thus far, and biggest movers so far. Christopher Pendle's up 10 spots so far, the hard charger. That's we're just the biggest one right now is Stephen Luttrell, up 6 spots. He's in position 10 right now. Truth Hook, he's up 4 spots. He just jumped to the bottom, up 3 spots now. Russ Martin Jr. is up 4 spots. Dana Ryan is up 3 spots. Currently in position 12. Truth Hook's in 4th, up 3 spots. So those are kind of the biggest movers at the moment. I know Brandon Sanfilippo has been out front for the majority of this race thus far, but that is probably about to change as Sean Dunaway reeling him in once again. But man, it's just, we'll see if he can actually get it done. That's the question.
Now I'm kind of curious, as we're almost 20 laps into this run and they're able to go about 40 something. Everyone else kind of keeping about a 2-second gap here. They're not really letting them pull away, but they're not pushing too hard to get caught up. I'm kind of wondering if their tires are going to end up being more favorable as we get 30, 40 laps into this run here.
Yeah, be able to kind of pull them back together. Sean Dunaway is a little bit quicker than Sanfilippo last time by. We'll see what the lap time is this time across, and still Dunaway a little bit quicker, going to reel him in that much more.
Yeah, Filippo is starting to get into the wall a little bit on the exit at the corners here, so he's going to have to try to maintain his ability to not do that, as he's got into it, I believe, about 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, getting into that wall is not going to help, but probably not going to hinder it too bad unless you actually get into it and bust that tire down or break the right front on these cars. So there's potential for him to actually not have to worry about it. As I believe James Foster Sr. was showing a lap down now. It didn't really, I didn't see him come to pit road. It's kind of weird. So I'm not sure what happened to the 9. I think maybe start from the pits potentially. Kind of weird for him to go a lap down here. I didn't see him go to pit road.
Yeah, I haven't seen him get passed by the leaders either, so quite possibly could have had something that threw him into the pits. And
yeah, I think he.
let me scroll up a little bit on SDK and see if I can find anything.
I got a report here. James Foster did start from the pits, so that is why he was a lap down. Riding on board with Brandon Sanfilippo now as we roll into turn number 3. We go back outside.
Oh, actually, what happened is he got loose. It looks like got down into the inside wall almost and decided to come into pits and possibly get a fresh set of tires after he just lost it on lap 1.
Oh boy. Well, that's a inconvenience to start the season, but better now than the last race, I guess. So hopefully, it obviously give him a lot of time to capitalize on that. But it's when you come into Racers Elite, you have to bring your A game, and you can't. There's no way to really make up mistakes some nights. And tonight may be one of those nights, and it may plague him for the course of the whole race. We could go, something free, and go green all the way here, and there's a lot of potential for that, especially with the history at Racers Elite, the Xfinity series at that.
I've seen several races at Racers Elite go flag to flag, but I mean, James Foster's still in a good spot that if a caution does come out, he will get back on the lead lap. So, I mean, you never know. I mean, he could do some kind of strategy and possibly get back on the lead lap as well.
So there is that option. He's not down enough that's going to hurt him terribly just yet. He can still recover from that and still have a decent showing here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, while we've been sitting here talking, Brandon beating that 22 machine up to 3rd place. No idea when he got there, but he is moving his way up through this field at the moment. He's actually starting to reel in the leaders as well.
Yeah, Brandon Biddy working some good lap times here. 32.118 faster than both of your leaders last time around. So he's working on getting that straight, keeping that car rolling quick around the speedway. So Brandon Biddy in the 22 back here, right in front of the 98 of Andrew Tuft. So Biddy's Car Shop sponsored Ford 22 machine. So there's some good looking cars out here for this season. Sean Dunaway in the usual Hello Kitty sponsored ride. Brandon Sanfilippo. Andrew Tuft changing the collars up back. I think Andrew's got like 4 or 5 different Racers Elite cars. It's a couple different stripe collar schemes. Just kind of flip flops and things and kind of keep it fresh.
Yeah, and honestly, if Sean Dunaway ever changed paints, I would be so shocked. I would probably not even realize he's in the race.
Well, we got the Hello Kitty chicken coop. That's what we got. It's a mobile coop. Lee Campbell in the number 60 back here running the lightning bolt scheme, Goodyear scheme. Number 60 Ford. And Stephen Luttrell in the usual 36 white, black, I don't know, call it like a navy blue. No, it's not really a navy blue. It's not dark enough. But I realize he's got a nice little pattern behind that orange, so you really don't see it unless you get on top of it. It's blended in there very well. Christopher Pendle in the 94. Go ahead.
So another update on the leader here. I don't know if he just found a turbo switch or he was saving tires, but he has absolutely picked up the speed here.
Good bit there. Yeah, I think he might be trying to work in that pit stop. 26 laps. He's kind of figured out. He probably was saving a little bit. He's probably trying to make some sort of fuel strategy work. 45 laps would be kind of an odd number.
So 45 is going to be 90. That'd leave about 15 laps here. So say you take, I don't know, 5 laps off of each pit stop, go down to 40 or even 38, potentially even 35. You know, I mean, you could possibly make it to the end off of that and short pickup time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does it. Maybe he just decided to push it and see what the tires feel like now that he's a little bit further into the run. Kind of maybe flex those good years a little bit.
And checking on YouTube chat here, we got a good drive from Brandon S. Appreciate you again, Frost, for stopping by. So everyone in the chat, who are you here and who are you pulling for? Who do you think is going to win tonight?
Taking a look here at the Celsius sponsor number 94 of Christopher Pendle. Sean Dunaway now is going to take over the spot. Well, Andrew Teft had the second spot there, but what happened there? See it flip. Maybe there was a connection issue. Anyway, all right, we'll take a look at the number 4, Dennis Kane. I believe that's a new scheme for Dennis Kane. It's a little different. Number 4.
Yeah, I think that's a new one. I haven't did a lot of Xfinity last season, but I've never seen Dennis Kane run that paint scheme before.
I haven't either. That's a new one.
The Nitrous Cowboy, I'm pretty sure, new paint scheme as well in the 88 machine.
Sure is. Yep, there's a couple different sponsors aboard that number 88. It's a good looking ride in the 48. I'm sure Bill Hagan, always probably some sort of affiliated Jimmy Johnson machine. Back in the Jimmy Johnson prime time. Then we got the 42 of Jonathan Stidham. These drivers are pretty close battle going on as Brandon Sanfilippo still found the turbo switch and he's got the wastegate wide open. We'll roll back to Russ Martin Jr. It's taking a hiatus from the booth to go back to the racetrack for the season. I don't know if he's going to be in the booth any times throughout the season. We'll have to skip over Hendricks Bromberg. He's unless you want to watch somebody fly across the map. You can get a little look at the 17 there. You'll see what's going on. But decent looking ride there for Hendricks as he debuts out here in the Xfinity Series for this season. So we'll roll back to the 86 of Kyle Hess, sponsored that white and green Hess sponsored 86 machine is Dana Ryan in the 49 Mountain Dew sponsored ride. Rolling in the 15th spot currently as we roll back to the You Can't Handle the Truth Hoke, the AC Delco 55, the usual ride for him in that Chevrolet as we roll back to the 96 of Barry Nelson. We've had a number change, so they've got the heat guns out over the past week here and eliminated a number and reapplied the little citrus cleaning. Get Barry Nelson's Levi Garrett sponsored 96 back out here as we roll down to the number 50 of Terry Fennell now. This Fennell's Grizzly sponsored number 50, working the 18th position with Kirby Wainscott back in the number 10 Toyota and the usual Racers Elite sponsored ride. And always a great looking scheme here on the Racers Elite Network and anywhere else that Kirby
not to cut you off, we have a lot of people getting ready to come down the pit road here very shortly.
Sure do.
And also, checking out the YouTube chat, we got William Luttrell in here saying we're the Stephen Luttrell fan club. And speaking of Stephen Luttrell, up 11 spots currently since the start of this race. But pit cycle's about to happen and could be a time for a caution, potentially, or a little bit of strategy being played here.
Yeah, strategy, cautions, any kind of woes that happen down pit road kind of underway here. And we're seeing at least a two-tire stop for the number 88 of Troy Thomas. And it looks like that's going to change into a 4-tire stop. There's a little pit report here. Saw a 4-tire stop behind him for the 48. The 48's down and away. Now the Nitrous Cowboy, the 88 of Troy Thomas, now down and away. He's off of pit road as well. Lee Campbell currently in his box, the number 60. I think he's on his way into his box. Remember where he qualified at. So here he comes. He's coming in. Him and the number 4, Dennis Kane, right here on pit road. Little camera here. Unfortunately, we don't have any animated pit crews. I can't show you what the pit crew actually getting down and doing the down and dirty here, getting everything taken care of. The lug nuts on off tires, and the guy cleaning off the front of the grill there with the grill tape. Make sure everything's clean, gets all the maximum air they can to those cars to help keep them cooler on this racetrack. As down and away goes Lee Campbell.
And man, Brandon Sanfilippo is just absolutely looking dominant today. I mean, Pennon, if he has any issues here, definitely going to be my pick to win, as he's led every single lap so far today.
Yeah, he's seems to be the man to beat here in that number 12 car. The number 12 Chevy is running good up front. He's getting all the air he needs and keeping it clean.
Out to almost a 4.5 second gap to second place now.
That's crazy. He's just been able to hold that much and be that much faster. He's got these corners figured out, and I don't know exactly what he's doing different, but man, he's gonna there's gonna be some people really going over that car during post-race tech today if he picks up this win.
That is for sure, but I mean, Sean Dunaway was doing a phenomenal job of keeping up with him, and just maybe where he was driving it in so deep trying to catch up to him could have potentially cost him there a little bit. But I'm going to be very curious to see when he comes down to pits here, as they're currently 40 laps into this thing, and I believe they said the fuel run was about 45 laps.
Yeah, it's about 45, so it's getting close to being there. I was watching here. Something must have happened to James Foster Sr. again. Back to the number 9 Ford. He's been on pit road for quite some time and still kind of hanging out down there. So I'd say he must have slammed into the wall coming off the corner.
Maybe just had some issues and had to get up and leave, or could have decided maybe he just didn't like this track very much. As I know a few people just don't like this track.
Yeah, that's very possible here.
Hey, it looks like our leader is going to start coming in here soon. Got the 01 coming in. I believe the 12 coming in this time. 17, 36. And I think Andrew Teff's going to stay out to potentially lead a lap here, so we can check that box off for him.
Yeah, check that box off, took up some points. So let's take a look and see what Brandon Sanfilippo does for his pit stop. Definitely probably going to be some four new fresh Goodyears and a splash of some fuel here to top back off. And I was probably there for a little bit to get fuel, but we'll see here. What's the 12 going to do for tires? We definitely got right sides on that machine going up. And I imagine see the crew going around to the left side. Left side's up. They're off, and they'll be put on, and down he goes, and away he goes back to the racetrack, and he will return in position number 5. Didn't make that.
And it looks like Andrew just got around him as he was coming out of pits there, so in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, Christopher Pendle came down pit road, so Andrew Tept is out there by himself. You have to make a pit stop. He is one of 2 other drivers. As Jonathan Stidham now down pit road, as well as Kyle Hess. So Andrew Tept, the last driver to pit during the cycle. So this could be interesting.
I believe I heard over the radio Andrew is pitting this time, so he just now went down the pit road. It's going to start letting some of these drivers get their lap back here, and Sanfilippo should potentially come back out to the lead while Andrew Tept is in pits here.
Yeah, looking to see how that plays out here now as Sanfilippo working his way down the back straightaway. As you know, he's working his way into turn 3. As Andrew not quite to his box yet, so he's in his box now. Right sides are just going up. Sanfilippo is working his way off of turn 4 down through the tri-oval, and Sanfilippo will retake the race lead as he rolls into turn 1. Andrew Tept right now is just now leaving his box, so he'll lose a little bit of positions. He'll probably fall outside the top 10 and have to battle his way back forward, but he will definitely be on fresher tires, but he's going to have to also manage those while making up ground on the number 12 Chevy.
Yeah, and I believe Kirby Wainscott, one of the first people to pit. Look how many, this is what I was talking about, the short pit strategy, right? And then running it long. Look how many positions he gained here. Now, he is going to lose a few, but he's going to pit early again probably, I would assume. Come back out, gain even more time potentially. And I mean, it could, give him a shot to win here. As he went all the way from 18th to second just on that pit stop.
Yeah, and here's the downside to Kirby is looking at the pit stop stats here. Kirby actually went in 13 laps ago. So Brandon Sanfilippo has been in 3 laps ago, so he's definitely on fresher equipment. And most of the other drivers here have only been out for less than 10 laps other than Kirby. So we'll see how long Kirby Wainscott's able to hold him to the second spot, or if he can run down Brandon Sanfilippo with older tires. So things have been kind of flip-flopped a little bit. Kirby Wainscott making the stop at the time that he did. He is up 15 spots. He started 17th, currently in that runner-up position. And still quite a ways to go. Yep, 59 laps remain, 46 laps being scored. Lap 47 currently under the green.
Just want to clarify the chat. We're not saying Brandon Sanfilippo is cheating by any means. It's a joke. It's a NASCAR joke. Just a typical joke that we make.
No matter where you go, you always have to pass post-race tech, and throughout the course of the race, stuff can happen. Not saying anything bad by any means. It's just part of racing.
But Brandon is absolutely dominating today. I mean, at the moment, he's just got a really fast race car.
Yeah, a great strategy going for him.
Currently out to about a 4-second lead over second place. Pending any cautions, I mean, I think this guy's just going to continue to grow here. As he's one of the last ones to pit, so he should be on the freshest set of tires besides Andrew Test and a couple other people.
Yeah, quite the great battle Brandon Sanfilippo is having up here by himself. You got a 4-second lead over Sean Dunaway. Well, I mean, and to be fair, when we say battling by yourself, I am talking about how much he maybe saw on the wheel on that race car. It looks fantastic from out here, and the wheel looks like it's moving pretty smooth, but he could really be fighting that car inside, and it maybe just be fast that way.
Yeah, I've watched some of the higher hour guys, man, and it don't matter what track they're at. If you watch them, they're absolutely solid on that wheel the entire time, driving it on the absolute limits. There's a reason why their hours that high. It's just they're used to driving like that, pushing that car to the edge and being able to contain it, keep it from wrecking. And it does pay off once you do learn that skill.
There's definitely a busy cockpit in here. He's definitely cranking on the wheel a little bit. It's not moving a whole lot, but he's definitely making sure that he's kind of bumping it, trying to keep it directed to the corner and keep it down and off the wall. He's definitely burning a little bit of rubber, a little bit of tires to go through the corner, so he's definitely making these good years work throughout the course of this racetrack.
And Kirby Wainscott starting to fall back now to that 6th place spot here, as he did pit about 13 laps earlier. Everyone, I imagine he's going to be coming down in the next, I'd say about 15 laps.
13.
No, he'd have to go longer than that, to be honest.
Yeah, he came in on lap 31, so he won't be back in until like lap 76. About 22 more laps.
And maybe that strategy will pay off for him here. We'll have to see.
Yeah, most definitely is. James Foster 10 laps down now, going to be hard to come back from, and he's also got company. Dana Ryan is 1 lap down in the 19th position.
Right now, our closest battle is going to be back here for about this 5th place spot, as it looks like 22. Brandon Beatty was just able to get around that 48 machine of Bill Hagen there. Steve Latrell going to be the next one to try to get around him if he's able to catch up. Brandon Beatty going to be trying to run down Dennis Kane for this 4th place spot as well.
And Dennis Kane hanging on to that, and a great run out to the wall by Brandon Beatty in the 22 forward. I'm going to crank it up for a couple laps here. All right, got some battles going on the racetrack now. I believe I saw something around. Looks like Christopher Pendle and Bill Hagan as Pendle sneaks by the 48 machine on the inside. Pendle trying to work his way forward. You saw just Jonathan Stidham just took a spot away from Troy Thomas. As now Kirby Wainscott following back still once again. Wainscott all the way back to P12 now. Way up the racetrack.
We're officially a little over halfway through this race here.
Like, yeah.
Stephen Luttrell getting around Brandon Biddy for that fourth place spot, setting his sights on Lee Campbell now in that 60 machine. Slowly working his way up through the field as he pit 1 or 2 laps after, I believe, Brandon Sanfilippo, who's currently in the lead here. So having to work his way back through the field.
Yeah, it's been quite the race thus far. A lot of battles going on, and drivers trying to move forward here as the time winds down. Still, like we said, we still got one more pit stop at least, barring any cautions. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out here through the course of the race. As Kyle Hess and Troy Thomas, actually Kyle Hess is bouncing because of Hendricks Bromberg. We'll see here. So technical difficulties still plaguing the 17, and I'm sure race control monitoring the situation with that number 17 machine, and kind of it's a good thing he's kind of not up front too far ahead to be messing with our battle. But everything looking good here. Is looks like we're going to get a little bit of shadows going on here following on the front straightaway.
Yeah, and just had a little bit of shade right there, changed the entire complexity of this race here, as the car's going to start running a little bit different, as it'll allow the track to pull off a little bit in that specific area. So I've just seen Stephen Luttrell going around Lee Campbell for third place. Andrew Teff looking to follow suit and get around Lee Campbell as well, as he does have the look to the inside, or they're coming through 3 and 4 this time.
Yeah, a lot of interesting battles going on here. Andrew Teff to the inside of Lee Campbell takes over that position. Lee Campbell falls back. Brandon Biddy getting challenged by Christopher Pendle here. Pendle to the inside. Great move there. He's looks like 22 of Biddy going to drag the brake a little bit and allow the 94 Celsius sponsored ride in front of him of Pendle. And it looks like Kyle Hess is trying to get around the 17 machine, but not quite able to do so just yet. I don't know if he really wants to pull alongside of him, or I mean, that's America T's number 17 sponsored ride. And it's unfortunate we can't really show a whole lot of them, or of the 17, but due to the issue it's having. But man, still a good run.
Stephen Luttrell was moving up through the field, starting to fall back a little bit now as Andrew Teff was able to get around him. It looks like Pendle catching up to him as well, maybe potentially burn up his tires here.
Yeah, that's burning tires up is a thing here. And man, I'll tell you what, Brandon Sanfilippo ran a 32.088 last time by, but everybody else slower. Actually, we got next fastest Christopher Pendle 32.044.
Yeah, and I believe the 94 and the 98 both on the freshest set of tires out of the entire field. And Brandon Sanfilippo, a couple lap older tires, still running around the same times that they are. Absolutely amazing from him.
Yeah, it's awesome to see these drivers come out and be so consistent, even with the tire fall off over the course of the race.
Well, if anyone's curious about what setup these guys are running, it looks like they're running a McConey set.
A little bit of McConey shop setups. Jeff McConey and the guys over there. So there's some sort of pool there. Dang. I just pulled up YouTube to look at this, and it looks so much better than normal. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the battling's kind of, calm for the most part, as we are having some passes. But it's the main passes I'm seeing is between Kyle Hess and that Hendricks and that 17 machine, which could just be due to a little bit of blinking. But
A little bit's putting it nicely, I think.
has it caused the issue yet? Is everyone's doing a pretty good job maneuvering around it?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. About 6 times a lap. Dennis Kane up to 9th.
And you know, iRacing does have that new feature where if your network connectivity or whatever has issues, it'll automatically put you in the pit. But
You got that from him.
sometimes I can see people that, you know, do that, and then I've been put in the pits just for having one issue with my latency for like a lap.
Right. So hey, it does get picky occasionally. So fortunately for Hendricks Bromberg, it's not hurting his run right now, as he's currently running in that number 9 position.
And I'm keeping a check on the back of the field here. It looks like Terry Fennell getting pretty close to being put a lap down here, possibly even Barry Nelson in that 96 machine. As they're about 28 seconds away from your leader, and it only takes about 30 to 32 seconds to run a lap here, depending on how old your tires are.
Yeah, we're riding on the roof cam of the 12. There's we kind of saw probably the 50 of Terry Fennell right in front of your race leader out there. There's still a little bit of a gap there, but you can see him reeling in.
Yeah, about a half of a straightaway currently.
And 37 laps remain here, 68 complete. We'll take a look at a little bit of our track stats. Here's Barry Nelson now on pit road in the 96, so those pit stops coming around.
I was just about to say, now was the window to be able to make it all the way to the end here, and I wouldn't be surprised if people try to short pit it against the spots here. I'm surprised Wayne Scott hasn't brought it down into the pits already, as he did, you know, short stop early.
Yeah, right now lap 70 of 105, current leader Brandon Sanfilippo. Lead changes are 2. So 2 lead changes in the course of this race.
And the only that was during the pit cycle.
Sure was. So Sanfilippo, well, with that being said, we'll take a look at our lap leaders. Brandon Sanfilippo has led 68 laps, and Andrew Teft, currently in the 3rd spot, has led 3.
You know, I will say Sean Dunaway pretty quick today as well, as he's on still a respectable second with a pretty decent gap out to Andrew Teft on that 3rd place spot.
Yeah, almost
about
5 seconds.
At least 2 seconds.
It's 5, I believe.
I think it's only 2 seconds between Dunaway and Teft for 3rd place.
Yeah.
Or 2nd place there.
That is, you're correct on that note. But yeah, it's that's pretty good there, especially with the difference in pit stops suddenly being 2 laps between those 2 drivers.
Looks like Kirby Wayne Scott did come down to pits recently as well. Terry Fennell.
Brandon Sanfilippo did is still, I think he got around what did he get around here? Someone get around somebody. Went around, that was the 9 of James
Got
Foster.
around Foster.
Yep,
Yeah.
he caught up to Foster. Foster's now another lap down. That's tough break, already being multiple laps down. Then that number 9, 11 laps down now on the field is potentially, it's going to, I don't know if he'll ever get those back, but you know, it's one of the greatest things with the running leagues and getting out here in the car. The more seat time you have, the better you will be over time. So this potentially may help James progress throughout the course of his sim racing career.
So I will say the other day I did a Daytona race. I got took out on like lap 5 and had about 10 minutes of damage. So I went about 10 laps down. I ended up getting back to 5 laps down and gained about 6 spots out of a 40 car field.
Yeah, so never give up. That's the
yeah.
the note to take away with that.
some points is better than no points, and if you can gain, there is potential. We still could have a caution here. Someone could have to use a fast spare, get involved in another caution, and they could end up behind Foster here. So
They very well he could. His battle still, man, I tell you what, Christopher Pendle real close to the outside wall there as he's running up the backside of Andrew Teft. They're going down the back straightaway as they roll to turns 3 and 4. We'll see if anybody comes down pit road. That's another thing so far. Knock on wood, everybody's been able to get on and off a pit road today pretty clean.
that is very true. And that little mistake out of Pendle there allowed for Steven Luttrell to get caught back up to him. As you see the 9 car in the wall.
I don't know if that's just that's a sharp-looking 9 machine. Potentially just being courteous to the leaders, knowing that he's that many laps down. He doesn't want to be a hindrance to the race that they're having or, impede on any of the results or hinder anybody else's race.
That is fair, but I do believe he ended up getting wheel damage from that. So hopefully he still has a faster pair left. Maybe he goes into pit, so he's going to be even more laps down here.
He might not know how to use it, considering he sat in there for forever to begin with. Or our wonderful technical glitch and iRacing took it from you is, man, I tell you, we haven't talked about the fastest lap of the race yet, and it's been quite an up and down story here. As Lee Campbell just set that time, 30.873 on lap 75, but Kyle Hess come right out the gate and stole his lunch money, 30.799, a little bit quicker. Kyle Hess did on that same lap, just moments later, 0.03 seconds later than Lee Campbell set.
So I'm thinking that track's possibly cooled off a little bit as well with some of the shade we had, and this is going to cause people to build around a little bit better laps. But looks like Bill Hagan going to be pitting this time in that number 48 machine.
I think Troy Thomas might also be coming in.
Down the pits as well.
Yeah, I saw him duck there, and Lee Campbell drove around the outside, so it's like Troy Thomas coming down. So pit cycle pretty hot and heavy here as drivers make their way off of the racing surface down to pit road. So Bill Hagan, Troy Thomas, like you said, coming to pit road. And I believe we might see, well, the 96 already came down, so we won't see him this time. Maybe San Filippo might be a taker. Nope.
And I just want to point out our biggest mover again, Christopher Pendle at 15 spots. A newcomer around here, currently running P3, having a phenomenal day.
Yeah, Steven Luttrell right there with him, 11 spots, and just behind him, Russ Martin Jr., 10 spots, currently in 9th. So, a lot of great battles throughout the field, and drivers making the best of their day here at the Nashville Superspeedway.
That is very true.
79 laps, good.
Brandon Sanfilippo just absolutely dominating. Nothing else you can say about it there. Currently out to a 6-second lead over the entire field almost. So that's 2 more seconds. He put up about 3 to 4 the first round, about 2 more this one. So with him, not really having to save a lot, with only been about 25 laps left to go, potentially whenever he pits, I could see him putting the pedal to the metal and extending this lead even further.
Yeah, it's he's definitely doing well with that. 80 laps currently complete. 25 laps remain. So they get to this pit stop here, and it's pretty much gonna potentially bring us to the checkers. We got Dana Ryan. It's like let's sound glitchy.
Brandon Beatty, Christopher Pendle, Hendricks, Jonathan Stidham all coming down the pits this time.
Yep, as well as Hendricks Bromberg also there. So it's we're winding down. Chance. Oh, the 49. Wow, I think they might either locked him up or there was some contact there.
Gotta go back and take a look here.
Dana Ryan. Oh, let's see. There was a black flag there on lap 38. So maybe I stand corrected on drivers maybe getting on off of pit road clean. Looks like that one may have gotten penalized at that point in time.
Looks like the second place of Sean Dunaway coming down the pits this next time as well.
Yep, here comes your race
Brandon
leaders.
coming down the pits. I imagine Andrew Tiff's going to stay out here.
And he does. And Andrew Tuff to go back to the race lead. We monitor the things here. Andrew Tepp, your race leader. And still has yet to pit, so I think if I were him, I would come back around and come to pit road right now. While Sanfilippo's still on pit road, but he's going to stay out and put him that lap down, try to. But that's going to allow Brandon Sanfilippo to get his momentum built back up before the 98 slows the pit road. So he could have been coming and going and maybe been able to get away with it. With only 21 laps remaining, he could have short pitted on fuel. So we'll see if his strategy works out. So the last time that we did this, 45 laps ago, roughly, Andrew lost the lead because Sanfilippo was able to get the speed built back up as he was slowing down and maintaining pit road speed under green. And we got a slow car up high, I believe, or down low. It's the number 9, James Foster Sr.
He's going to be pitting this time, not to cut you off there.
You're good. Well, he's down on the apron, so I don't want to hinder anything. So everybody's in go mode now, except for Andrew Teft. He's in go mode, but he's going to pit road. And
not sure what happened to Truth Hug, but it looks like he's loaded up on the hauler for right now. So
he is out. That is a questionable scenario here. Let's see if we can draw some information here. He went to the pits, and that was pretty much it.
Well, Brandon Sanfilippo should be taking back over the lead, but Christopher Pendle taking over second place potentially here and called up to our leader with a little bit shorter of a pit stop. But is he going to have the tires left to do anything with it?
Well, it's a 3-lap gap in the pit cycle, and lap times will tell the story, as Andrew Tupt will lose the lead as he comes off of pit road, rejoins the racetrack. And last time around, Christopher Pendle ran a 30.941 compared to your leader's 31.054. So he's got the speed, but how long can he manage to hang on to it? So Pendle, 16 spots gained. Hard charger for the time being with 18 laps to go here at Nashville.
And this is the closest anyone's been to Sanfilippo since the start of the race here, so gonna have to see how he does with a little bit of pressure on him here.
Yeah, he's definitely got a little bit of contention with him now. He did okay on the initial start and everything. You see the 49 moving to the high side up there, Dana Ryan and the Mountain Dew sponsored Chevy. Giving the race leaders room to maneuver around to continue their battle with a quarter of a second distance between the 12 Sanfilippo and the 94 Christopher Pendle, which is not really a lot, but it's just enough to be able to make the difference so far. As we roll around 17 laps to go, drivers completing laps here, scoring them and putting them behind them here at Nashville. Race number 1 of the new Xfinity Series season.
And this just goes to show what I was talking about earlier with the track state changing as we've got a little more shade on the track. Could be potentially working in Pendle's favor here, but I really don't think he's going to be able to overcome the tire advantage from Sanfilippo's. He's been really good at long run pace, and I'm sure if he needs to, he can pick up the pace just a hair.
Yeah, he's got to watch he doesn't burn those tires up, because getting to somebody is one thing, but actually being able to pass them is a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that is very true. But it does look like Brandon is starting to pull away a little bit again here. So potentially starting to pick up the pace, see if Pendle could keep up here.
Yeah, Pendle's definitely going to have to try to keep up. And it's about .02, so it's 200 or 2/10 of a second that he's off lap time wise there. So we'll see if he's able to stay with him. And that time by, Sanfilippo has turned on the turbo switch, and he is trying to drive away here as he's gapped him out to almost 3/8 of a second. Saw some maneuvering back here as the 49 still. Dana Ryan letting lap or the lead lap cars go around. And looks like, I don't know what happened. I'm showing Truth Hoka's out, but is he scoring laps?
It says he's manually disconnected. So
yep, he's gone.
Not quite sure what happened with him there, but hopefully everything's all right. And that might potentially give Foster a position.
It might. He's got a lot of ground to make up there yet. Let's see what lap. Truth Hoka 81. So yeah, James Foster is going to gain a spot here, and this goes back to what we were talking about. In about 2 laps, James Foster will take over the 19th position, so that's a gain on the day.
Hey, it's better than last place points. It might not be, top 10 or whatever, but it's still going to help him throughout the season here. Is that one spot, if he does well the rest of the season, could determine the outcome of him winning a championship.
It sure could, and this just could be not his track, The rest of the season might be a better time for him, and maybe take away a learning curve from tonight at Nashville, as we have 11 laps to go for your race leader, the 12 of Brandon Sanfilippo.
And I'm noticing something here on the relatives. Sean Dunaway is trying everything he can to get these leaders reeled in, as he's starting to close the gap up a little bit. Lost a little bit of time out of 2, but was making up a lot of time there for a moment.
Yeah, he's got quite a big gap there. We'll see, looking from the blimp cam down on the 0-1 of Sean Dunaway, you can't even really see the leaders out there, but he's definitely looking and poking his nose around the ideas. He's cutting the apron a little bit. I'm trying to give him a secret, so I'm going to let Sean see what he can do to reel in Christopher Pendle and Brandon Sanfilippo. As you can see from Christopher Pendle's perspective, it's about 2 seconds back to Sean Dunaway, 1 3/4 seconds back. And time's running short, but man, Sean Dunaway is on a rail right now. 31.594, faster than your race leader last time by. Let's see who the fastest drivers are here in the field here. See, fastest 5 last lap, and they'll give you the lap times there on the board. That'll change here in a moment as they roll back around the start-finish line. Pretty sure it's an adjustment. Right now, Andrew Tepp last time by was fastest. He's in position 5. Brandon Sanfilippo, 4th fastest last time around, and he's your race leader.
Stephen Luttrell looks like he ran a 30.7 last time around, as well as Kyle Hess.
Those would be best times, I think. We'll look at the fastest 5 best laps today. Stephen Luttrell, 30.79. Kyle Hess, 30.79 as well. Those are 799 and 797. And Russell Martin Jr., 30.83. Brandon Brady, 30.84, and Christopher Pendle's 30.85. So that's over the course of the entire race. And I'll tell you what, Sean Dunaway is reeling in Christopher Pendle, and Dunaway still was faster than both of those drivers last time by. This time by, no different.
And it also looks like Andrew Teth might be able to catch Stephen Luttrell here and get a 4th place finish, so going to be good for him as well. The 17 of Bromberg, or Hendricks here, working his way up to P6. So currently up 3 spots from the start of this race. But the story of the day, in my opinion, is going to be Christopher Pendle, as he's currently sitting P2. Even if he does finish P3, that's 15 spots moved through up the field. Not a single caution. So he's had to work to gain all that.
Yeah, with 5 laps to go right now for your race leader as they work around this Nashville Superspeedway. Christopher Pendle may be in trouble in that Ford as the Hello Kitty 01 Chevrolet. Sean Dunaway is approaching very fast and in a hurry. But, oh, man, he was trying to get away from that wall, too. He drove all the way out to it. Broke the barrier there as he's going to go by it and pull down the racetrack. Reeling in the back of the 94. Can he do anything with it? That car is handling very fantastic for the number 01 as he reels in the 94. I don't think he's going to be able to get to Sanfilippo at 2.5 seconds, but he's definitely probably got something for this 94.
Sean Dunaway doesn't hit the wall, sir. He goes up there to sign autographs for his fans. So.
Well, he's gonna have a hard time doing that on the backstretch.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Give that one.
Darn cats.
Yeah, it's the cat's fault. All right, Sean Dunaway all over the back bumper. Christopher Pendle here. We only have 3 laps to go. Is Christopher, the newcomer, going to be able to hold off our reigning champion for the second place?
Well, if the 94 keeps pushing the way he is and running, well, I'll tell you what, 32-170, it wasn't much faster. Sean Dunaway.
Oh, Sean's taking a look on the inside, going through 3 and 4. It looks like he is going to be able to clear Christopher on the exit here, as Christopher's having a real hard issue getting the throttle down, but it looks like Sean Dunaway lost it on the exit there. So they're still going to be side-by-side drag racing down the front stretch, 2 to go this time, as they're going to be diving into 1 and 2.
Yep, the dive to 1 and 2. There you go. Brandon Sanfilippo with the race lead to make that 3 3/4 second lead over Sean Dunaway and Christopher Pendle, who are battling it out for this second position right now. Second and third going at it. Sean Dunaway looks like he may have the spot in the 0-1 as Christopher Pendle will dive back to the bottom now. He's going to take a look potentially to the inside as they float off of turn number 4. White flags in the air. 1 lap to go here for your race leader, Brandon Sanfilippo. As they come across the line, looks like Sean Dunaway is driven away from the number 94. So Baron, he goes mistake-free through this lap. He will hang on to that second spot, and looks like Christopher Pendle is going to end up in a 3rd position. Andrew Tupp did make the move. He has taken over the 4th spot from Stephen Luttrell. As your race leader, Brandon Sanfilippo is going to round here to the front straightaway, and it looks like he is going to pick up the race win here. So he comes across the 49 lap down that standing line. Now it's going to be the 0-1 of Sean Dunaway and Christopher Pendle, your top 3. Fantastic race here today as we got battles coming off of turn number 4 even. Lee Campbell and Russ Martin
Just
Jr.
Just like that, flag to flag, folks. Not a single caution all race. Brandon Sanfilippo, your winner. Absolute dominant performance out of that 12 machine today.
Yep, the only yellow fly in here was the 96 of Barry Nelson. So, man, a great race here today. We'll take a look at our full field rundown momentarily. We'll save that for the end. I'm working my new format here, how we do things. So we'll talk to our top 3. Get our podium up here. So we'll talk to Christopher Pendle in the 94. Christopher, Ron, and Dakota in the booth here. You got a copy, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Not much, buddy. Congratulations on a good podium finish there. Man, you held off the reigning champ for as long as you could, and he just seemed to have enough to get to you. But man, a great run to come up 15 spots, man. A fantastic position gain race here at Nashville for you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I haven't raced in a few months. This is actually my first league race in like 3 months since I won a next gen championship in this league in the summer, and I started in the back because I was kind of worried. I wanted to get the feel of this car because I ain't ran it in so long, and I don't know. I just figured out something there in the middle of the run and middle of the race and started figuring out how to run it. And me and Andrew was coming up through the field pretty good, and I short pitted and I got right to Brandon's back bumper, and then I was just overdriving the car trying to stay up with him because he had a few lap fresher tires, and I just lost front grip and I just couldn't turn the car. And congrats to him on the win, and I'm actually looking forward to go to the next week. That's going to be a fun race.
Yeah, next week be a fun race, and probably one of your favorites, I'm assuming.
Well, I ain't raced there in so long, and I like the old style Phoenix better than the new style Phoenix. I hate the dog leg and how you can cut it and all that. So I'm excited to race next week at that track and hopefully have a good result there.
Yeah, it'll be definitely a fun one to watch, and it's always, when they cut the dog league, it's kind of a pain to watch people do it, and it always makes for an interesting race, but it's a wild card to be a safe maneuver because the speed you carry through the dog leg, when of course it's a little treacherous, but
Yeah.
fortunately you don't have to worry about that. But man, a great third place finish here today. Anybody like to help you pick up a podium tonight?
Just thank Andrew for letting me race again, jumping back in and racing Racers Elite. I always enjoy racing in this series or this league with these guys, and thanks to everybody that tuned and watched. Thank you guys for broadcasting, and hopefully we'll go get them next week at Phoenix.
Okay, well, congrats again on the third place finish and being the hard charger of the night, up 15 spots, and hopefully next week going to be just as well and as good to you as tonight was.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Alrighty, Christopher Pendle picking up the third spot here tonight. We're going to move forward. We're going to talk to Sean Dunaway, the reigning season champion, and the Hello Kitty sponsored ride as he picks up the second spot with a late race pass to pick up the runner-up position. Started third, finished second. Sean, tell us about that run for you. How'd the car feel?
Tight. Yeah. So the first stint, yeah, I thought I was tire saving. Apparently not.
Tight like a rocket ship and just as fast as one too.
Yeah, right. No, I felt sluggish. Like the first 10 laps, you're like, okay, this feels pretty good, and then, yeah, there's just like some sort of cliff you just jump off of there. But yeah, I think my right front on that very first stint was around like 43% or something like that. So it was like, geez, man.
Is that all? I bet you I can get it lower.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was crazy. But then, yeah, the second stint, we hit pits. I think a lot of us decided to take 2 tires, which definitely felt like the right move. Like, I went out of the pits, and it felt just like I took 4 tires, basically. So, we didn't get any of the looseness, really. The car got a little more character. It was able to slide the rear, like, a little more, but not as much as you would want, for sure. But yeah, happy to take the P2. Obviously, Brandon was just way too fast. He was the rocket ship of the night for sure. But yeah, we'll take the P2.
Do you feel that you felt the car it wasn't quite loose? Do you like it wasn't skating, but do you feel that the shade over the racetrack kind of contributed to that factor as well?
Yeah, I remember that, the shade coming, and then I don't know how it felt. Like, I thought I would get a little looser, but I would say, like, throughout the whole race, like, I experienced pretty much the same stuff, just tight every corner. There was just, like, some turns 1 and 2 that, like, I would nail, and I'd be like, all right, like, that felt really good, but then just, like, the next lap, it would be like, wow, I'm, like, it feels like I'm going 0 miles per hour in the center of the corner here. So yeah, it was something.
Like, yeah, well, congratulations on the P2 finish here today. Anybody like to help you pick up the second place finish here at Nashville Superspeedway?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to thank my wife, my mom and stepdad for always watching, and then of course the cats for always trying to ruin the race here.
All right, congrats on the second place finish, and hopefully Phoenix treats you just as well.
Yep, thank you.
Sean Dunaway, reigning champion last season, starting off strong here with the second place finish, and we'll talk with Brandon Sanfilippo, your race winner, and the number 12, as he's down here just shy. I can't use that camera. He's just shy of the finish line here, so that'll work. Perfect. Alrighty, so Brandon, welcome to the booth. Ron, here you got a copy.
Hey, I do.
Well, a very excited number 12 of Brandon Sanfilippo picking up the race win here. A fantastic race for you there. Led the majority of the laps, and usually, fortunately, you got the last one, the one that counted, the one that mattered, and picking up the race win. It's got to feel good to be able to come out and put the reigning champ down 1 spot and be able to pick up a race win to start the season.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a grueling battle with him on my bumper, because Sean he always knows how to take a good tire saving line, and especially at a track like this that eats him up. So, when I started to pull away, I knew I had figured it out pretty good, because if I can pull away from Sean, then that's a rare occasion. So, yeah, it felt good. Just I think think the key was just throttle patience for me. I had more patience on the throttle tonight than I did anywhere else, so I probably need to apply that more on low banking tracks, short tracks, and everything. But yeah, it was definitely a right front tire eater. So just having patience and taking it smooth out of the turn 2 and 4 there definitely made the difference.
Thank you. Yeah, a good win there for you tonight. Anybody like to thank that helped you pick up the win here today?
Yeah, everybody that's tuning in, my parents, my brother, sister-in-law Bernadette, my cousin John who watches, Brosa family, Shoe Flow, Mr. Pangborn, Aunt Frostine, my fiance Lindsay, and our dogs always tuning in, watching. Appreciate you up in the booth for not only broadcasting, but doing all the things behind the scene as well. Andrew for putting on the league, everything that goes into that, and all the racers tonight. I mean, green to green. I mean, not a single caution in the first season opening race. Not many leagues can say that, if any. So
With
shout out to
20
everybody
drivers
tonight.
at that, yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. Well, congratulations on the race win. A great way to start the season, and we'll look forward to seeing you at Phoenix.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Brandon San Felipe picking up the race win here tonight. Great win for him. It's been fun here tonight. Thank you to everybody for tuning into the Racers Elite Network. Thanks to all the drivers for showing up. Thanks to Dakota for being here in the booth. Thanks, Andrew, for having us, and all the sponsors and everybody that backs the Racers Elite Network. The Xfinity Series race number 1 in the books. We'll take a look at the full field rundown real quick and close this thing out. So it's been fun here in the booth tonight. So we get this up here where we want it to. So there you go, your 20 cars there. Brandon San Felipe led 98 laps here of 105. So strong run here, led the most laps. 4 lead changes between 2 different leaders, which is him and Andrew Teft. Like I said, Christopher Pendle, lead hard charger, up 15 spots. Brandon San Felipe leading the most laps. Fastest lap was Stephen Luttrell with 30.797 second lap. With Brandon San Felipe, your race winner, also getting the pole, and we had no cautions. So those are the highlights here. Of course, we interviewed the top 3. So running at your 4th position, Andrew Teft. Coming home 5th, Stephen Luttrell. 6th, Hendricks Brownberg. 7th was Jonathan Stidham. 8th is Kyle Hess. 9th is Brandon Biddy. 10th, Lee Campbell rounds out the top 10. 11th is Russ Martin Jr. 12th is Dennis Kane. 13th is Kirby Wainscott. 14th was Bill Hagan. 15th, Troy Thomas. 16th, Barry Nelson. 17th is Terry Fennell. Coming home 18th, Dana Ryan. 19th, James Foster Sr. And running out the 20th position, Truth Hoke. So unfortunately, some issues for some of these drivers. Hope to look at them capitalized and have a better showing next week here as we roll into the Phoenix International Raceway. And we'll be back live tomorrow night with the Gen 4 Cup Series. And I'll be here on the mic again. And we'll see you guys tomorrow here on the Racers Elite Network. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.